This time, I like to call the meeting to order. The purpose of this meeting is to consider the approval of a request by the Cherry Lake Volunteer Fire Department to use the Cherry Lake Beach facility for fundraiser. At this time, I'd like to open it up to the public.
I'm Scott, Cemetery Chief of the Cherry Lake Fire Rescue. We had made a request at the last meeting, and something went wrong. I'm not sure what happened.
Okay, I stop you there. The request that you made from the last meeting was it was not placed on the agenda. And that was the problem, that it was not placed on the agenda. It was a memo sent to the commissioners requesting for it to be placed on the agenda.
Mr. Cherry, if he would come in here, told us that he could bring it up in his comments for us.
Okay. Because
and our representative was supposed to be here, and he got called out at the last minute and couldn't be here, so therefore I didn't have time to send anybody up. So.
Okay. Mr. Cherry, I was just replying to what Mr. Singletary had said, that it was not placed on the agenda and it was given to us at the last minute, and we did not want to act on something we did not see. Is that correct?
That's what you said the last meeting.
Yes. Yes. We didn't. It wasn't placed on the agenda, and
Mr. Allen Dave said he had spoke with you and that you could bring it up in your comments.
That's what I did, brought up in my comments.
Okay.
he brought it up in his comment, but it wasn't
placed. But that's not on the same as being on the agenda.
Well, we was misled.
Okay.
Mr. Chair, because we was under the impression, Dave was, and he couldn't be here again tonight. He's in Panama City. That after speaking with you, that you could have brought it up, and they could have voted on it.
I could put it in my comments, then be up to the board to where they put it on the agenda.
And that was the only problem, was that the commissioners didn't have enough time to look at it, and Mr. Vickers had mentioned that it was, a time frame, and that's when I decided to table it and for it to come back, because when you serve on as many boards as each one of these commissioners do, if each board, like I'm on Transportation Advantage, the senior citizen, when they want to request, if they don't submit it that Wednesday before the agenda, I table it, I wait till the next meeting for that. So apparently it was a misunderstanding.
Well, we have requested to start over then. We requested last year to use the boat. We have fishing tournaments out there. Fundraising fishing tournaments, they understand. We use Sims Boat Club. That's what Mr. Jim and Miss Ruth Hardy wants to do, to put back in the department, is let us use their facilities. We've always had. That's why we hadn't come and asked before last year. Their club is full. It's getting full during the summer. They don't have a problem with it, so they asked us if we would not have them during the summer. Sure, we respect y'all. We appreciate them letting us use it when they did. Very nice people. They helped us out a lot. They supported the right part, which is what it takes these days. So, I asked Wayne last year if we could use the boat ramp. Wayne said he would check with Tommy. Tommy said there's an ordinance that we can't use it. I've looked for the ordinance and I can't find an ordinance saying that we can't use that.
Tommy said they couldn't use it.
Yeah, Tommy said.
I think it was a number of boats that could be
Number of boats.
Yeah.
Oh, he's
It's just the number of votes, yeah.
Number of spaces.
Yeah.
Since then, we just got quiet and watched and listened. And since then, there's been numerous tournaments out there that late. We was trying to do the right thing, come to y'all and ask permission from y'all, the board, to use this for a fundraiser. We've done talk with the 4-H camp. If we went over the number of boats allowed, we could park and use their facilities also. Because they support us also, the 4-H camp does. So, here we are. I got some dates and some tournaments and some number of boats and stuff like that.
And like I said, Mr. Signature, that was the only mishap, the way it was presented. Other than that, as long as it's presented to the board and we can look over it, I personally, don't have a
Well,
Well, I did watch the video of the meeting, and it looks like it was in discussion, Ms. Renetta, and it just got stopped all at once. I remember hearing Mr. Roy say, well, they need to know something so they can advertise. And
Yeah, it did, because of the fact when it was submitted to us. When you saw the video, it was just submitted to us. It was not on the agenda.
so a county commissioner can't bring up something that concerns him and his district,
Oh, yeah, yeah.
and it not be voted on and talked about and discussed without it being on the agenda?
It can be discussed but not acted on if it's not posted on the agenda. It can be discussed, yeah, but the discussion, you still can't act on it until it's placed on the agenda. That's why. Please proceed.
Madam Chairman,
Yes.
what dates y'all talking about? What dates y'all want?
It was on, go ahead, June 11th.
Okay.
And we realized that, you know, that it's being manned during the summer. And I think y'all close at 6.
Well, we've changed our hours from 7 to 7, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And I'd read where y'all would be willing to back your times up to accommodate that.
So that wouldn't interfere with the time that,
No, sir. My only concerns with it is if there are existing boats there and how we deal with the 7-boat limit. Now, I know the commission in the past, and it's been several years back, did allow more than the 7-boat limit, but it was during the off-season. I don't see where it's an issue. It's not like we're gonna have to staff it as far as where they're gonna park. If there's 7 slips, there would be 7 slips available for them to park. If y'all made arrangements with the 4-H club to park up there. I know in the past, they have even parked at the volunteer fire department and brought people back and forth.
You know, wherever they park.
And that's, you know, why we've had our cables put up and things like that to keep people from parking all out the road because of safety and people getting in and out.
So the boat limit only applies during the off-season,
To my knowledge, the boat limit applies year-round, during operating season and everything. The only time,
on the 14th of this month, there was 11 boats there. Saturday, the 26th, the Bass Club had 19 boats there. The 25th, this was of May. February, I'm sorry, excuse me, February. On the 25th, there were 17 boats there from the Valdosta Bass Club.
I would doubt sometime it ain't more than that there, because I've been out there, it's been more than that there. I guess the only thing is about it, we really ain't got nobody at them time,
Well,
police.
when Lane called me back and told me that Tommy said we couldn't use it last year because of the ordinance, you know, it just didn't seem right, y'all. I'm gonna be honest with you, it didn't. You know, we volunteered for this county, we work for this county for free, and we was just trying to have a fundraiser here. Nothing against anybody, but you know, here people are using the ramp.
It's not from here.
That's not even from here, and they ain't get to come to this board and get permission.
Right.
So should we allow it to come? Wouldn't have been the right thing to do. But if we'd have done it, what could have been said, you know? But that ain't the right thing to do. We were trying to do the right thing and come to y'all for permission to use this board.
Madam Chairman, Tommy got this.
as far as the tournaments that are being hosted out there, they don't come for permission. They just go put them on. I'll find out about them 2 weeks later. Mr.
I
Chair's
wasn't
called
pointing no
me.
fingers at you.
Oh, I know, and I'm trying to educate the commission on it.
I'm trying to let them know what's going on out there.
I agree.
Who's
We
policing
just,
it?
during the off-season, the sheriff's department, from Memorial Day to Labor Day, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, we police it. And that's probably the only time the 7-boat deal is put in place. And the people that I hire are cussed and rared and hollered at because of the ordinance, but we call the sheriff's department and they take care of it. As far as policing it year-round, it's supposed to be on the honor system. Open the gate with the combination, pull through, close the gate, go put your boat in and fish or ski or what have you.
Well, I'm not pointing no fingers, but I don't want to get into argument by no means, but pointing fingers is not going to get you anywhere. But it looks like to me somebody's not policing this facility, number one. Number two is favoritism somewhere. I'm not pointing fingers at Tommy or you or anybody else, but somebody is giving these people an okay to use this facility, or they wouldn't be out there. They're not gonna help themselves to private property.
Undoubtedly, they are.
You think
It's not
so?
coming,
Sure, absolutely.
I don't
it's not
have,
coming through my office, Wally.
Yeah,
and I
nothing's
don't
come
have
through
a
us.
key.
They're just going out there, I
It's not,
guarantee
and
you.
it's not coming through my department. The
I
combination is
just-
public knowledge.
That, you know, if the liability part of it is so great on you folks, if something happened out there, somebody drowned or a boating accident, and y'all, they didn't have permission, you still would be responsible.
Well, I don't think so, but, you know, maybe we need to go back and look at our ordinance.
I'd like to see that, Roy, I'd like to see the ordinance.
Well, I've seen it, you know, and it was
I'd
put in place
like to
before.
read it.
You might have been there, I wasn't. But I think the reason it was put there, was because of, we had a lot of, the folks around the lake.
Misusing.
No, they're not misused, they didn't want the lake to be misused.
Oh, okay.
By an unlimited amount of, we'd be undated with folks from Georgia coming in there if we didn't have something in place. So we've got to have something in place.
From what Tommy explained to me, Mr. S, I might clarify it, is he said that was an agreement between the county and the people that lived on the lake to try to get the ramp put in.
That was a hard thing, you know, that
No, no,
lot of
It was
opposition
hard,
even
it was
putting
hard
that in
fight
there.
to get the ramp in to begin with.
I can understand that.
But maybe we need to go back and look at the ordinance
Right.
and put something in there that any extended use other than that needs to come back before this board for permission to do it.
I agree.
And I think we did bring this up probably about that same time, last year, to look at it, we never did it. When you do it, you're gonna start this snowball effect with folks all around the lake and other people that,
Mr.
What would be the ramifications of these people that's misusing it if something did happen? If the sheriff's department or Todd's crew, caught them out there using the facility, what leverage have y'all got to convict them or charge them for trespassing?
Tom.
Is it in the ordinance?
What we've done in the past is when we get our 7 boats full, when our staff is there, we have a chain we pull across the boat ramp. Because of the way it's designed coming in, if somebody comes in, hey, we can't let you put in, we're full, they can circle around and pull back out. If somebody says, no, we're gonna put in, I live 3 houses down, I'm just putting my boat in, going to my house and parking, and per the ordinance and the way I've been instructed, is not to let them put in. And that's how we handle it then. If we have problems, we call the sheriff's department. The sheriff's department, the last 2 or 3 years, has been great about it, and having people leave, or, because they can be charged for trespassing, number 1, or you can put a trespassing warrant, which then they can't be allowed back on the property. We've had to do that, the recreation part.
I mean, you're right about that, because I had one son that the sheriff department had to run off. And I told the woman that was running the beach then that I pay several $1,000s a year.
Yes, sir.
Why shouldn't I be able to put my boat in, my son put his boat in? Even though there was already 7 boats, he wasn't gonna put his trailer there, he's gonna take it to the house. And I pay several $1,000s a year taxes. And because I got property on the lake, but yet I can't put in a boat because the ordinance says no more than 7.
I think y'all got a real problem with this ordinance you got, personally. Me only, but I think it's something that needs to be reviewed real closely, and, again, I definitely want to see a copy of it. I'd like to read it.
I've asked around the courthouse, Thursday, and I can't seem to find one.
I'm pretty sure I have a copy of the ordinance in my
Yeah,
office.
I know for sure there's one.
They say there is one out there.
Tommy, can you
They
get
couldn't
that,
find
excuse
it in our office?
No, that's why.
excuse me, Tommy, can you get them a copy of the ordinance?
Yes, ma'am.
Would you please?
If it's not in our book at Chair Lake, I'm sure I have a copy in the office
I'll
and
get
get a
one from
copy.
Mr.
I would
Wallace,
like
and
to ask
also
this board
for,
to look over this ordinance,
Yes.
you know, we might need
well, that was something
reviving.
that was suggesting, which is, we're running into a lot of problems since it was created during that time. And maybe we can get together and get a committee too, to kind of work together and come up with some innovative, creative ideas on it, of what's already been established and what else we already have.
We don't mind helping. We've responded 3 times over there. The last time we did, there was a accident, jet ski accident where a little fellow broke his arm. We've helped several times. We used to help, and we still do, with stranded boats and stuff. The sheriff's department's got one, and they kind of police and fill the one out. We have, you know, we don't mind helping. So we was a little disappointed on what they were using. We wasn't a little disappointed, we was a lot disappointed. I agree with that.
I think the main purpose for the 7 boats, if I remember back, it was the people around the lake. They didn't want the lake to be over flooded, so that's why they came up with 7. But now that you got 7, it's still over flooded, you know. So all I know is we just need to agenda and get Tommy to read the county attorney. We need to look at it. But in the meantime, back to y'all. That's what we need to deal with.
Right.
If it's appropriate this time, I'd like to make a motion that.
Well, can we just, I have it open to the public now. As soon as we finish with the public, then we'll come back. But the thing of it is with that, the ordinance that you have and what you're requiring, what the purpose of this meeting is for the request for Cherry Lake Volunteer Fire Department to use the Cherry Lake Breach facility. That's the purpose of this meeting. And that's why we open it to the public for that. And then I'll open it back to the board so they can make comments also.
We have
Anybody else that would like to, in the public?
don't have any questions for me, President?
Okay, at this time, I'll turn it over to the board. Board, do you have any discussion that you would like to happen? If not,
I'd like to make a motion that we accept, allow this fundraiser on June the 11th for Cherry Lake Volunteer Fire Department.
I have a motion and a second. Any other discussion? All in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. 5-0. Motion to adjourn. Yes.
I have one other question. I'm sorry, I apologize. Getting that stuff real early in life, I think. In the future, do we need to come to this board every time? I don't mind, but I need, or are y'all gonna go over that in the ordinance, or what you gonna do? Like if we wanna have enough, that lake is, we ain't called Cherry Lake Volunteer Fire Department for nothing. That lake's our special little lake. I mean, it belongs to the county, but that's our little, you know, everybody's got their little thing, you know, we love that lake. And a lot of my members owns property on that lake, about 5 I counted it all good. And so what I'm asking is in the future, if we wanna have another tournament, working around, you know, not interfering with the on season where Tommy's got people out there working and the beach is open. When the beach is closed, we will not have a tournament when the beach is open.
That would be the proper thing to do until we review the ordinance, to go over it and make sure it's the right thing. That would be the right, I would say, board.
And probably what I would say to it, I wouldn't have a problem with it, but you know how it is when it come down to laws, and he ain't here today. I would like to discuss it with him, and then we can let y'all know, let Wayne know, and then Wayne can let you know once we review all of it. I mean, I wouldn't have a problem with it, but Tommy might say it could be a problem, it could cause us a problem, or whatever. So.
Probably gonna have to review it.
You know, y'all, we the first ones that ask, and y'all know now.
Yes.
We got proof that people's using this thing, and I probably throwed them under the bus, but I can't help it, because we kind of felt like we was thrown under the bus when we didn't use permission, you know, so. Anyway, thank y'all for y'all's time. I appreciate y'all having this meeting just for us tonight to discuss this, and I hope it gets worked out.
You will.
Thank y'all.
Motion to adjourn.